Pro Bowl-like direction?
Tony, maybe. But I think the one major difference, and it would take years before we figure out whether this is true or not, ultimately in the Pro Bowl, the players didn't want to go anymore. It wasn't just the fear of injury, and there was legitimately that. Players said, I don't even want to go to Hawaii anymore. I don't want to go. Now, the NBA All-Star, they have not gotten to that point yet. Don't know if they will. But we've gotten to a point, Tony, where the weekend was used to be a joyous thing. I used to get as much joy out of going to cover NBA All-Star Weekend as anything on the sports calendar, Super Bowl, NBA Finals, World Series, Final Four included. And Tony, now, I want to be as far away as I can. And my reaction is the reaction of a lot of players. I talked to 2 NBA personnel today, and they're like, I'm not going anywhere near that. And Tony, you know what? The culture moves. Things don't always trend in a certain direction. We've gotten to that point with the NBA All-Star Game, which the commissioners had a bunch of chances to fix and make a spectacular product, and for his own reasons, won't or hasn't. And so here we are.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of that. It used to be very celebratory, and now it feels like...
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we are diving into the most combustible, layered, and brutally honest segment of sports television I've seen in weeks. This is Pardon the Interruption, and Michael WILBON just went there. He didn't dance around it. He looked at the NBA All-Star Game, the slew of injuries and opt-outs, Kevin Durant's pointed comments about Luka and Jokic, and delivered a take that cut straight to the bone. The subtext of that was clear to me. The subtext was about race. We have to break this down, because this isn't just about who plays hard in an exhibition game. It's about how we talk about eras, continents, and effort in the NBA. Let's set the table. The All-Star Game is in crisis. Giannis is out. Luka probably won't play. Steph is hurt. Cooper Flag is hurt. The commissioner has tinkered with formats for years, and nothing works. WILBON, a man who has covered more All-Star weekends than most of us have been alive, drops a devastating admission. I used to get as much joy out of covering NBA All-Star Weekend as anything on the sports calendar. Now I want to be as far away as I can. This isn't a casual complaint. This is the canary in the coal mine. When the diehards don't want to be there, the product is broken. He and Tony Kornheiser agree it's become a burden, a chore, hocus-pocus junk destined for the Pro Bowl graveyard. But then, Kornheiser pivots to Kevin Durant. And this is where it gets serious. Durant, when asked about the effort level of the older American players, flipped the script. He said, essentially, why aren't you asking about the Europeans? Why aren't you asking about Luka and Jokic? And he described their style in a way that clearly irritated Kornheiser. They just lay on the ground and take shots. They don't care at all. Kornheiser stops. He looks at the camera. And he says, the subtext of that was clear to me. The subtext was about race. He doesn't expand. He doesn't soften it. He just lets it hang in the air. And this is the conversation that everyone in NBA media is thinking but rarely says out loud. There is a long, uncomfortable history of coded language used to compare the flashy, athletic American style to the fundamental, soft European style. And here, Durant, a player who grew up in the DMV, who came up in the hyper-competitive AAU system, who has been the face of USA basketball, is essentially saying the European stars don't care enough to try in this meaningless game. He's using the lazy European trope. WILBON immediately cuts through it. He doesn't defend Durant. He fires back. I would say to Kevin Durant, let me pile on your doorstep all of the video of the old heads, as he calls them. All the American old heads not playing worth a damn either. I got video of all of them not playing. Equal opportunity. This is the perfect counterpunch. WILBON is saying, KD, your critique is selective. The problem isn't national origin. The problem is nobody, American, European, old, young, wants to risk their multi-million-dollar body for a scrimmage with no stakes. He's calling out the framing, the implication that this is a foreigner problem, when the tape shows it's a league-wide issue. This segment is so important because it exposes the unspoken tensions beneath the surface of the declining All-Star Game narrative. It's not just about effort, it's about perception and stereotype. And it takes someone of WILBON's stature and fearlessness to name it directly. The rest of the show covers other major stories. The Knicks picking up Jeremy Sochan after he requested his release from San Antonio, Jerome Tang's atomic meltdown at Kansas State, and WILBON's legendary threat to fire him on the spot, and James Harden's predictable self-serving justification that loyalty is overrated. But the Durant segment is the headliner. It's the conversation that needs to be had. What do you think? Was Kornheiser right to read racial subtext into Durant's comments? Or is that an overinterpretation of a player just venting frustration? And can the All-Star game ever be fixed? Or is it time to admit it's a relic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you appreciate fearless, unfiltered analysis that goes beyond the box score, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.